I was fired from my job for stealing food. The CEO who fired me didn't recognize me when I served him at the homeless shelter. 6 months ago, I was the assistant manager at Lux Organics, an upscale grocery chain where a single avocado costs more than minimum wage. I'd worked there for 3 years, promoted twice for my dedication to company values. What a joke that turned out to be every night we were required to throw away food that was still perfectly good, but past its premium freshness date, not expired. Pan just not premium anymore. I'm talking about boxes of produce, bakery items, and dairy that could feed dozens of people. One evening, instead of dumping it all in the compactor as required by company policy, I boxed up the discarded food and took it to Haven House, the homeless shelter where my mother had stayed when I was a child. The shelter's kitchen manager was overjoyed, apparent they'd been running dangerously low on supplies that week. I made it a weekly routine for 2 months. No one noticed or cared. Then one night, a new security guard reported me for theft of company property. The next morning, I was called into the regional manager's office where Thomas Pearson, the CEO himself, happened to be visiting from corporate. "We have zero tolerance for theft," he said, not even looking up from his laptop as he signed my termination papers. When I tried to explain that I was taking food that was literally being thrown away, he cut me off. "If we allow employees to take discarded items, it creates an incentive to mark good product as waste. This is non-negotiable." I was escorted out like a criminal, no severance, no references, and suddenly no way to pay my rent. 3 weeks later, I was living in my car. By week 6, even that was gone. Pert repossessed when I couldn't make payments. I ended up at Haven House, the very shelter I'd been donating to, and now sleeping on their cots and standing in their food lines. Last night, I was helping in the kitchen as part of the shelter's work program when a group of business executives in suits walked in. They were doing some community service event, the kind rich people do once a year to feel good about themselves while writing it off on taxes. And there he was, Thomas Pearson, CEO of Lux Organics, wearing designer casual clothes and latex gloves, awkwardly serving mashed potatoes with a practiced smile. He didn't recognize me at all as I stood across from him, ladling gravy onto the plates he served. Why would he? I was just another faceless employee. He'd fired now, just another homeless person he was charitably serving for an hour before returning to his mansion. The irony wasn't lost on me that some of the food we were serving had been donated by local grocers, the very kind of food I was fired for stealing. As he was leaving, he dropped a business card into the donation box. "If anyone here is looking to turn their life around," he announced loudly, "Lux Organics is always hiring entry-level positions." I almost laughed in his face. Instead, I picked up his card later and wrote on the back, "I already worked for you. You fired me for feeding these people. Now I am one of them." I slipped it into his coat pocket as he was putting it on. I don't know if he'll read it. I don't know if he'll care. But sometimes the universe has a way of showing people exactly what their policies really mean per turn, even if they're too blind to see it. The shelter manager just offered me a part-time job. It pays almost nothing, but at least I know my work is actually feeding people, not a corporate bottom line.